I'm David Morin, and I recently had the opportunity to sit down with 6-time Mr. Olympia Dorian Yates at his home in Marbella, Spain. Now, ironically enough, I was interviewing Dorian Yates at the same time Hurricane Dorian was bearing down 100 miles just off of the coast of my home. So, coincidence? I'll leave that up to you. What we did discuss is the powerful transformation that Dorian had went through in becoming 6-time Mr. Olympia to a deeper spiritual connection through the use of plant medicine. So I'll leave you with this. Perhaps Dorian is being called to a leadership position for the world, and everyone out there that has been using fitness and weight training to fill some hole perhaps can continue evolving and discover that healing is just a decision away. So appreciation of the environment for which we have, the earth in which we reside, and our fellow human beings, that's the message. I also dropped some information about my near-death experience and some of my experiences with plant medicine as well, including ayahuasca. Hope you guys enjoy it. Leave a comment.
Or, you know, something that you can consider to be bad could be good in certain circumstances. So kind of got me away from that black and white thinking a little bit. Still do it, but also last time I think that's why I suffered so much. Because I had to learn to actually ask somebody, can I have some help, please?
Yes.
Because I'm not used to doing
very much a do-it-yourselfer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's okay to be like that sometimes. It's okay to be, you know, what you might consider to be weak,
vulnerable,
or vulnerable or whatever. You know, it's okay to be like that. And it's part of life, right?
Sure enough.
And if you're always trying to be, you're not really in touch. If you're always trying to be, you know, trying to be the strong guy.
Yeah.
Because we all have moments where we're not that strong.
We're
so we need help.
Yeah,
we need help.
Yeah.
We're tribal by nature.
Yeah.
That's why I have so many problems, because we lost that family, that connection.
Yes. Yeah, we share each other's burdens. Yeah, we should.
It should do. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, from iron to ayahuasca.
Yeah.
You know,
there's quite a lot of people in the fitness community that have been increasingly interested.
Well, you're transmuting negative energy. Like, I got into it because I got dumped for my wife and another guy and my kids, and my life exploded. And I was so angry that I just took all that energy. It was like a phoenix type thing, you know. I just transmuted all the negative energy, and then woke up one day and I was like, oh, I'm a different human being now. You know, and it's almost like the evolution of human consciousness through the ages of iron and bronze and the digital age. It's like you're making whoa, U-turn. Like, we're not going to go into the spacesuit shit and leave the Earth. I'm staying right here. We're from here. We emerged from this intelligence, and it's so convenient for technology to get us to worship it as if it's some kind of savior, and then just completely ignore the intelligence that's built into the nature. That's in, you know, it's very subtle. It's a very subtle thing. But we were microdosing, walking through Madrid, and you could see, like, in people's eyes, you could see they weren't free. You could see the judgment, how they looked at you, how they identified the labels, which is just revealing who they are. You know, with the cues they observe you with, the lens they look through. So it was like, wow, everybody is either thinking about something, they're not in the moment, they're in the past or future, they're going somewhere that's already predetermined. No one's wandering, appreciating this moment.
We all need to do that more, man. You know, catch yourself, right? Even when you're driving the car, sometimes you're like, how did I get here? Like, just automatic, right? I wasn't even thinking about driving the car. Just going to automatic mode and wandered on somewhere else.
Tell me about those years, man. I heard about your diary, the training journal. Fucking crazy. Some shit you forced yourself to do.
No, I didn't really force myself to do it. It was part of the job. You know, getting feedback, and early on I started writing it down. I don't know where I picked it up from. Might have been from Mensa or somewhere. You know, recommended to keep a diary. And I wrote every workout down. As far as I know, every workout from I think 83, 84, right until when I retired. So actually, it's funny we're talking about that because I'm just getting it together today because Generation I want to do something with the movie they're making with me.
Yeah.
And release like
the Dorian
scrolls of Dorian. Yeah, some of them will be there.
Yeah.
The training diary will be there.
Can't give them all.
That's
your goal.
No, not the juice diary. That don't come out yet. Yeah, but the training, I got at home from 86, 87, it's like 95, so I got most of it already together.
I remember an interview with you, I think it was 92 Olympia or 93, where they had asked you about your approach to the sport, and that you were just very pragmatic. You're like, I'm an athlete. This is a sport. You know, this is not all this other fluff stuff. It's just, this is my approach to things. It helps me keep my mind right. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
And really
sport and the physical effort, the physical. For me, it was almost like kind of mastery over yourself. You know, that was the important thing. Okay, great, I made a career out of it and won the title and made money and all that. It was amazing to be able to do that. It was something that you enjoyed doing, but it was almost more than that. It was like a mental mission, you know, to be able to override all this, you know, the discomfort in the gym, not wanting to, you know, it wants to be like go deep into the pain.
Yeah.
And sticking on a diet that's restrictive, all these things where your instinct is like, fuck this, I don't want to do this. To, you know, to get mastery over that.
Yeah.
So it was a different approach. For me, I was not interested in like, you know, going to the beach or like going somewhere with a tank top on and having people look at me or something. I was like, for me, that's a nightmare, with people looking at me and stuff. So I keep covered up all the time. And my goal was to present a finished version at the contest, and that's all I was interested in exposing, really.
Yeah.
So even the guys that train with me at the gym, they didn't get to see me until probably 4 weeks before the contest. Yeah.
Now you're in the light.
Yeah, that's it.
100%.
Shadows into the light. Trying to bring other people into the light as well.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating also when you look at you in terms of being a spiritual being, that most of the city that you lived in, everyone was going to make a living doing something that was basically a dead end.
Yeah.
You were fashioning iron and using and building structures and homes and shipbuilding and all this stuff. It was all using iron for this purpose to...
Industrial stuff.
Which was kind of like either war or some shit, you know? It's like some... But you took iron, you're like, I'm going to fashion my vessel out this motherfucker.
Interesting way to look at it,
Out this motherfucker, right?
Yeah, because Birmingham was industrial. Birmingham and surrounding area was all industry. Car industry, previously mining and so on.
My mom's from Ireland.
Okay.
I lived in the UK 12 years.
Yeah.
My dad was RAF, Lake and Heath, Mildenhall, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Chicken. Yeah,
cool.
England was wild.
So where did you live? Darlington's the north, right?
Yeah, north. Where the
Northeast.
Rolls Royce trains used to be made and all
Okay.
that shit. Yeah, I think it's fascinating, man. Like, some people are put in that leadership position. And, you know, you're like a shaman.
Yeah, the thing with Soltara kind of happened by accident. So London Real, who I've done 3 podcasts with.
Yeah,
and
I like Brian
the documentary.
Yep.
So Brian went to Soltara in Costa Rica to do his ayahuasca experience.
Yep.
So eat your food.
Those-
Don't need the plates?
No, sir.
And to film it and all that stuff. So I saw his post on social media. I messaged him and said, man, that place looks cool there, yeah?
Yeah.
How is it? He said, oh, it's great, the staff are great and all this stuff. I said, oh, okay. Maybe I'd like to go there one time. He's like, well, I'm sure if you want to come here, they'd be really happy to have you and all this stuff. So I said, all right. And then they contacted me and they said, look, we got a different idea. You've got a lot of people following you and they're interested in the medicine. Maybe it would be a good idea to put the camp on with you headlining. And at first I was like not really sure, because my past ayahuasca experiences have been in Spain.
Yes.
And I go there kind of anonymous. Nobody really knows me. And I just hang out and like being anonymous and doing my thing, which I really like. So I'm like, but now I'm going to be there like as Dorian and like having to be
like a leadership
lead of people all day and talk and do this and that, and I don't know if that's going to interfere with my own personal experience.
Yeah.
But we had a good talk about it, and he assured me like in the daytime you will be like the team leader and talking to people and stuff like that. But when the ceremony comes around, you know, you're off duty. That's when the facilitators and the shamans take over, and then you're like everyone else going there and doing your own thing.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's see how it works, and it worked out really well. I found like I was a natural leader for the guys and girls, and I actually enjoyed playing that role.
Yeah, I think you're fully qualified for that role for sure. If you were to ask my opinion, I think there's a certain like, and I don't know to the extent because you've gone way beyond the physical boundaries that I could be aware of. But just I've dedicated my life to 20 years of just waking up and working out, you know. And I think there's a psychological readiness and a physical kind of willingness to endure things that kind of like most people never get into, and I think for me it's been the key to gratitude, you know, that paying the offering, the pound of flesh for an ounce of wisdom. Like I got into fasting 2 years ago. I fasted for 5 days after my divorce, and it transformed my life, you know. I feel like if you can master that desire of hunger, then doors open from that too, you know. And it's a way of showing the universe respect, that, you know, you're willing to forsake the energy to get the higher form of energy, the spirit food.
Well, when you go to do ayahuasca, of course, you've got to do a special diet before you go there, and while you're there and afterwards. So minimum 3 or 4 weeks you're on a diet.
So they recommend 3 to 4 weeks.
Well,
depending on
about
the
2 weeks before you go. 1 or 2 weeks before you go, and then you got the week there, and minimum a week afterwards. Some things are longer, some things.
What's the food like?
Food is absolutely great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like yucca, cassava, like boiled stuff?
So, it's all organic, locally sourced. It's not all vegan. They have some fish and chicken and eggs as well. But it's all, you know, it's all organic and
farm to table,
clean, and they're locally sourced. And I've got a great chef that every meal is a different, you know?
Yeah. How do you like Costa Rica?
Absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it? Yeah. It's very friendly towards American investment, like retired expats and stuff. Yeah, I like that area of the world. I like South America, but I've been to Ecuador. I love Ecuador. It's like magic, you know. They still have
like
the Indian.
There's one country, I don't know if it's Ecuador. Got like four gyms there called Dorian.
Do you have the chili flakes?
Yeah, they contacted me one time.
Powder?
I didn't even know. Nothing to do with me, but
yeah, they should have called you about naming the storm, brother.
Yeah. Got paid
What's going on?
That's my endorsement fee.
Exactly. Yep, we got the weather channels just blasting my name everywhere. Yeah, I thought that was especially interesting. Right in our doorstep.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just, they were like, it's the storm of the century. Okay. Yeah. So
it was heading for Florida.
Yeah, it's now.
And then I heard it turned away, right?
Yeah, I hope it just goes out to sea, because Outer Banks gets smacked a lot.
I think it's supposed to hit Georgia, the Carolinas.
Yeah,
so a little bit more north.
Yeah, poor Caribbean.
Dorian's peaceful these days, though, so I try to avoid damaging people.
We were tripping the other day in the car. It's like midnight, and there's no lights. It's just black, you know. And we were like thinking about the storm, like shit, man. All the people we love. Like I've got my daughters there, and we're just kind of worried about our families. And I'm like, look, man, I believe. Call me crazy, but I believe that if we got enough people in the water in front of the storm in Florida, and we were all just going with the right intention, I think we can move the storm away.
It's possible.
I think so too. Am I crazy because I think that?
No.
Gosh, I think all the civilizations of the world have been built because the people have been unified for
It's
one
all a
day.
program.
Yes.
So if you can influence the program.
So the next, we want to do a 6-part series where we're talking about the incredible space that you go to when you are doing the blood and guts. Like when you're in that world of just relentless, you can't even think, right? You're in a space where you're not even, it's just pure energy release and...
Yeah, it's like a tunnel vision.
Yeah. Yeah, and we
I still got it when I train people. I go into a zone.
Yeah.
People say, I came in the gym and like, you didn't even see me. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't. Because I'm like, I'm in with my client. I'm in there. And I'm looking around and not seeing what's going on.
Yeah, you're connected. Empathy. Have you noticed just the shift in your ability to connect to people since bodybuilding is over?
Yeah, because bodybuilding is very selfish, right?
Yeah.
But the psychedelics are going to do that because you're going to see and feel that we're all connected. So it's almost like if you don't care about people, you don't care about yourself, because in a way they're you. That's it.
You feel like the entire world is going to go through this renaissance of awakening and creativity to solve all the energy problems, the power insecurity of using
I think it's happening, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
But everything's got resistance as well. Everything's got an opposite. So as consciousness is getting higher and waking up, you're going to have opposition to that as well. So you're going to have some bad stuff happening.
I feel like in the hierarchy of the universe of intelligence, that experience is kind of, you can have the smart people that subjugate people that are not as intelligent through whatever means.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're a person who's never immersed yourself in the physical labor required to get things done, then the people that labor for things always have an energetic advantage because they've obtained the experience and the know-how of doing something like physical.
Yeah.
So they can only hold back the water, the potential energy, the kinetic energy of that water for so long because they've never been in the water. They don't know how it works. But our next piece is probably going to the jungle and getting into the untamed brain of psychedelics and trying to explain that in context.
So where did you do your ayahuasca?
So I did it in Florida. Saint Daime has you can sign a document. I basically renounced Catholicism at that point and became a member of the church, and then under law I could practice it. And
I did one here one night at Saint Daime.
Yeah. Man, and what an amazing pivotal case. The irony behind ayahuasca is that it's endogenous, right? You can't make something illegal that your body produces.
Yeah.
The DMT.
Your body's making DMT anyways.
Yeah. So it's like
we should all be arrested every night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you may come in November then?
I can come, for sure.
That'd be great.
I would love to be there with you, bro.
I mean, just doing it there, in that location in the jungle.
Yeah.
You've got 2 shamans, one guy and one lady.
Yeah.
So you've got great balance between the male and female energy in the ceremony.
Beautiful. Yeah, I remember my first trip. It's kind of just, it was like late in the afternoon. He wanted to arrange it to where I was kind of like fading into twilight and then turn dark at the tail end of the trip.
Okay.
And then I remember I was like, if I feel like I'm sick, I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
And so I sat up.
You got no choice anyway, right?
I sat up and I just started dry heaving. Like I got on all fours and I just started, like an energetic purge.
Yeah.
And while I'm doing that, this little lizard just comes down this vine next to me. And he's looking at me like sideways like this, you know. You know how they do.
Yeah.
They look at you and then look away and look at you. And I was like, you've been here forever. Like, tell me what you know. And right when I said that, the shaman, who was maybe 20 feet away, he gestures to me to come over. So I get up and I'm like, when you get up and you get moving, the circulation, and you're like, whoa, it's really hitting. So like everything is fluid, and you can hear the leaves are rustling, and it's like breathing. It's like all life is breathing.
Where were you? Inside the building?
No, outside. And I get to the shaman, and he looks at me, and he goes, I want you to know. And I was like, because I asked the lizard, I want to know. And then he answers my question.
Yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah, it was trippy. And that second cup, and then I did another half cup, and it was like, why are you showing me this? For what what purpose is this? And I don't want to abuse what you show me. I don't want to be like the pure capitalist that takes the creativity and uses it for self-serving purposes. I want to serve this energy, this source, get people's attention and focus back on this. So if you want me to do something, why are you showing me this?
Yeah.
Help me do what you want me to do. Let your will be done, type of thing. And that was it, man. It was like just talk about it. Just make a documentary about it from your perspective, about being somebody who was kind of
It's getting the word out there, man.
Yeah, man.
Using us all.
Yep.
Have you always been spiritual by nature? Is it something that, like an experience that happened that really got you into this?
I think I had always something there.
Yeah.
From the training.
Yeah.
You know, because you kind of go into a different space when you train. So I was aware of some spiritual connection. Just not a big fan of religion, which is normally what you're introduced to when you're young, and that kind of puts you off because it's often religion's not very spiritual.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's always been there with me. I think the psychedelics just like take it to a different level and have a different perspective and understanding on everything.
Absolutely.
Perhaps you were a shaman, like your ancestors were shamans.
Maybe.
You know.
I do get something during the ceremonies that I feel like I'm very old, very ancient.
Yeah.
And I'm remembering some of it.
Well, when you look up the term shaman, there's three source grammatical definitions. One from Germany, and one from the Tungus, the Siberian, and the other from South America. So there's this.
Yeah.
There's definitely a Northern European, like
I
Neanderthal.
think the earliest shamans were like Siberia, Russia. They got, you know, at least they found some shamanic mummies there with some of the cannabis, and you know.
I saw that. In China, they found like those 6 foot something tall Caucasian dudes with cannabis.
Yeah.
And China's like, we don't want to talk about that.
They're all over the place, man. Caucasians.
Yep.
They even started the great Indian Indus Valley civilization. They were Europeans.
That's it. The Quetzalcoatl, and
That's why they still got the in India. They got still got the caste system. Which goes way back to that period.
the true Aryan.
We don't know shit about world history now.
No.
Shit. We're just starting to learn some stuff now.
They probably have to rewrite the history books on
Have you
everything.
seen Graham Hancock? Got that new book out about the Americas?
Yeah.
No, about the Americas.
Yeah.
Like USA. How old human society is there? It's way older.
They said they have that special soil that they suspect 50 years prior to the main conquistador explorations of South America. There's cities of 20 million that once the smallpox or whatever it was came through and killed everybody, the jungle just said, That dude is so smart, man. I love Graham because he's a journalist. So he backs all his stuff up, but he has that narrative of wonderment. He gets you thinking about
because he's excited himself, you can tell.
Yeah.
You know, this is his passion, right?
Yes. And he got beat up so bad for such a long time.
Really? For what? For going against the grain?
Yeah. Yeah, academics are just, they're so dogmatic.
Hold on, like doctors, right?
Yeah.
Hold on to their fucking systems.
Yeah. It's their money. If you find out that your narrative that you've been living by, your tenure or whatever it is, and you lose all that credibility, you're like, fuck my life.
I had a friend here who had cancer, and we helped her with the cannabis oil and diet and everything. She had ovarian cancer, stage 4, and it disappeared, it went away. So she said they were like baffled. They kept re-scanning her because they couldn't believe, like literally couldn't believe they couldn't find the fucking tumor anymore, right? So they kept looking for it. It's gone, man. It's not there. So when they realized, she said the doctor, he wrote down absolutely everything that I did, all my protocol, how much cannabis oil, what diet, how did I do this, and he wrote it all down.
Right.
She said, but he's just going to put that away in his fucking drawer for himself or his family.
Yep.
He's not going to change the way he does business.
Well,
I mean, you can't. You lose your job, right?
Exactly.
You lose your job. Start telling people to do that, you lose your job. So
absolutely.
you got to keep recommending the same old shit.
Yeah.
Or you could have some balls and say, fuck this. I'm not being part of this anymore. I'm going to go out and tell people about this, and maybe my kids won't be able to go to private school anymore. Maybe I'll be in the shit, but hey, at least I feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Right. Yeah.
But most people won't take that choice. They take the security.
The doctors have been kind of forced to do a very difficult job based on what the studies. You have to cite the studies, and the do no harm could mean anything. It's like, how about just help people?
Yeah.
You know?
Do no harm.
Yeah.
Stop fucking giving people chemotherapy then.
Yeah, exactly.
Just harming people.
Kills
Poison.
them. Yeah, kills the cells.
Yeah.
But it's interesting about the scanning is X-rays. It's a derivative of sunlight.
Yeah.
So you're looking, you trust the machine to give you the eyes to see the tumor, but you don't trust the substance that's full of complete spectrum light that's actually healing the tumor.
Yeah.
So the viewfinder that you're basing the analysis and the prognosis on is light. It's a derivative light source.
Yeah.
So it's all light.
I'm finding out a lot of stuff about the sun now. Skin cancer and like the people that get least sun are getting skin cancer.
There's a doctor named Dr. Jack Cruz. I'll tag you on him, but he calls himself a mitochondriac. He says all the metabolic disease, depression, everything, melatonin, not being able to sleep at night, you get early morning sun, you're able to sleep better, you produce melatonin. All these new hormones they're finding out, not just vitamin D, but like all this stuff cascading from the sun. We're electromagnetic beings that
I feel so much better living here than in the UK.
Yeah.
Got no fucking sun around here.
Exactly.
Got clouds.
Yep.
Like it's not, you're not getting the sunlight.
Yep.
You're not getting vitamin D. Even living here, myself and my wife, we both go in the sun. Like we go in the sun every day, go to the beach, and had vitamin D levels tested. We both were not deficient, but we were near the lower end of the scale. Even going in the sun every day.
Yeah.
So I still take extra vitamin D to get up in the, you know,
Where's the normal
optimal
ranges?
range.
Yeah.
Yeah, vitamin D is one of the most important.
Very important.
Key vitamins. I read an article by the Scotsman one time, and it's if you track all this data, you know, cholesterol levels, this and that and the other. He said that one of the most direct link to heart disease in Europe, anyway, when coal consumption, coal burning was at its peak.
Yep.
Heart disease was at its peak
Because
the smoke from the coal was blocking a lot of the UV rays getting through. So people were getting like literally no vitamin D production, and that's when heart disease was at a peak, early 1970s.
Wow. Because vitamin D, I mean, that goes from anything from hormones to your immune system. I mean, it plays a very important role.
Yeah, absolutely, very important for your immune system.
And just dopamine levels, man. Just happiness.
Yeah.
You know, you're a sponge for everything. Our skin is porous because it's a sponge for everything. You know? So you gotta get that sunshine. I notice, like, if I smoke, I've been in the sun, I can see like the energy like more intense. You know, you ever notice like you're out in the sun and you go into like a fluorescent lit room and it's like a small spectrum of light and you see like people, they glow, they look different. Everybody looks different. You go from the spirit to another. A shadow world is what they created. This whole world is a shadow world because it's a derivative of the one source of light.
Artificial,
People don't see we're living in shadow. Like I say that
I used to live in the fucking gym with strip lights. You know?
Burning in your face. Like,
strip lights and no windows, no sunlight. I did okay with it though. But literally was in a week as well. And I do in the gym, I do some light weights once a week and probably ride bike as well once a week. So like 4 or 5 times a week, try to do something active. Or even just like a long fucking walk or a hike and, you know, just movement, man, anything.
Just staying healthy.
So it's all about movement and like even exercise. I think we're going to find that there's a, you know, there's a curve, right, of benefit from exercise, and then over a certain amount of exercise, it becomes a negative because you're producing a lot of free radicals and it's aging your cells. So exercise is beneficial, but to a point. And where is that point? Like that's what's interesting for me now. I think with cardio, I've been doing some cardio. I haven't done it lately because I just got busy and I've been doing other things. But for about a year I was doing cardio, like 10 minutes, but intervals. So I do like 40 seconds easy, and 20 seconds absolute crazy burst on an air bike or a cross trainer or a rower, or whatever, or kettlebells. Just go and like getting my heart rate up there, 165, 170 or something, like blasting it. And I was doing 10 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week. And I got my resting heart rate down to like high 40s, like 48, 49 in the morning. Just from doing that. I wasn't doing fucking 2 hours a day of running or anything like this. So that'll be interesting what we find out in the next few years about this, like the intensity of the exercise and the duration. Because it seems to me like we have stressors, right, that are beneficial to us. Like exercise is a stress, but to a degree it's beneficial. Cold, as Wim Hof has proven, is a stress, but it's beneficial. Strengthens your immune system and everything. Same thing with heat, with the sauna. It's another stress. You're going from cold to fucking heat, but it's just another heat stress. And that's beneficial as well. So stress, we need stress to be optimal. But how much?
To a certain extent.
We live in a mental world, but it's all mental stress, but we have no physical way to express the stress. So it's a mind fuck.
Exactly. The modern world, that's the modern world, right?
Yes. So the atrophy, the connection between mind and body and the benefits of those stresses is atrophied because we've removed ourselves from the environment.
I mean, just going hiking here, if you go to fucking mountains here, they've got forest and everything. You go up there for a day or half a day walking. You get back from there, I'm guaranteeing that night you sleep like a baby. Just had that oxygen, all the trees around you, the energy and everything. It's like cleans you out. I used to go, I've been busy PTing, so I haven't been for a while. Once a week I'd ride my bike up the mountain road. As I'm going up the mountain, like stress is falling off me. Like maybe by the time I got to the top, I'm more clean again. I feel like
that's fascinating too, man. Red blood cell hemoglobin increase, just high altitude. And there's people that have just managed to adapt and live there.
Or smoking. It does the same thing. Smoke cigarettes, you're lacking oxygen, right? Just to be in altitude, your body's lacking oxygen. So what the fuck am I going to do? Make more red blood cells. Anything with smoking, you get high red blood cells. Not the healthy way to do it, but
it trains your breath too. Smoking helps you train your breathing. You take long breaths.
Well, I don't know if you know about the study that they did in UCLA. The guy's name is, I want to look it up, Dr. Tashkin, Donald Tashkin. They did a 20-year study with thousands of people, and it was funded, I believe it was funded by the government, because they had an agenda, or the expected outcome of the study. which was smoking cannabis is going to damage your lungs just the same as smoking cigarettes, because you got the tar and the carcinogenic compounds. It's just the fucking same as a cigarette, right? So we're going to follow people over 20 years, non-smokers as a control group, I think. Tobacco or cigarette smoking only. People that smoke weed only, and daily, not like casual, daily smokers. So followed these people over 20 years, expecting the outcome that would be negative, right? So 20 years smoking cigarettes, of course, we already know the outcome. Major loss of lung capacity, great increase in cancers, all the things we already know, Weed only group, no loss of lung capacity, in fact a slight increase over the control group that didn't smoke anything. So they had a slight increase over the non-smokers. No increased cancers or anything like that. I think there was an increased susceptibility to getting chest infections, minor, like or bronchitis or something like that. But yeah, no damage to the lungs after 20 years of daily smoking. So they had to publish it because that was the result. So you can go look at that, which is fascinating because theoretically it should do.
Right.
But you still got these carcinogenic compounds in there, but the THC is so protective that it's not causing any cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's balancing it.
Yeah.
It's balancing it out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
not that smoking is the best way to do it, probably not, but you could vaporize it, you can eat it, but even smoking is not very harmful. It's what they prove.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean they've been doing the snuffs and stuff, and smoking's been around forever. It's just why are you doing chemical manipulations to make the nicotine more addictive?
Well, here's the thing: if you come to Soltara, you'll learn about this. About the other master plants, ayahuasca being a master plant. I think cannabis is also a teacher plant. Tobacco is like the number one, but it's the original tobacco. I think it's tobacco rustic or something. It's the original tobacco plant, and they explain to us that tobacco they use on the cigarettes is not the same plant. It's not the same plant. It's covered in chemicals, it's covered in glue and all kind of shit. So they use, in the ceremonies, they actually use natural tobacco a lot for cleaning the aura, for cleaning the area. Even if they want to know something, they just like put the intention in and have a little smoke, and you might get some information coming in. So tobacco for them is a very sacred plant, but it's not the tobacco that goes in the cigarettes.
Did they teach you about the symbolism behind certain spirit animals, like for example snakes and the leopard?
No, I mean if you've got questions you can ask, but it wasn't something that was on the curriculum of subjects to be covered.
I've really been on this snake thing lately.
I always see snake skin or snake eyes or something normally. And if you get any of the artwork that the locals make, like the ayahuasca, you always see they always got some snakes in there. So I'm not really sure why, apart from that it's a very strong symbol of the Amazonian jungle.
I feel like you shed your skin. Like snakes that shed their skin can't grow unless they shed a skin. Like their old self is left behind.
Well, I call it layers of an onion.
Yeah.
Like, why do you keep going back to ayahuasca? Because every time I take a fucking another layer off the onion and I find out something new and it's helpful. Yeah. So
you've reinvented yourself in such an incredible way. Most people wouldn't have gone the complete opposite direction that you have. And I think when you look at your career and you look at the intensity and ferocity that you achieved the highest, the pinnacle in the sport, that probably the most demanding physical sport you could ever partake in. And then you're like, well, this defines me. I got all these accolades and this ego from all of this. Yeah. Fuck it, I'm not happy. It's not working. Yeah. I'll just toss it. Right?
Well, it's not toss it, like, because it is an important part of my journey. And if I hadn't done that initial journey, I wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't be speaking to you. I wouldn't be putting a camp on in Costa Rica because no one would be interested in it. So it was very important. It was a training ground for me. It was like part of the whole process for me to get here, and it gave me the discipline as well, which is, you know, any kind of spiritual practice, you're going to require discipline.
The willingness to let it go, I guess, is what I should
Yeah,
have said.
yeah, the attachment.
Yes.
The attachment and the ego recognition that is who I am.
Right.
I am Mr. Olympia. And I started thinking about that, like when I retired, because it was a forced retirement through injury anyway, so it was like a crisis. All this shit, like, who am I now? Who the fuck am I now? Because I'm not this guy anymore now. I can't be this guy anymore. I'm retired. I'm forced to retire now. Can't even like ease out of it, right? There's a big injury and it's like, that's it. It's
car
finished.
action.
Yeah, it's finished. So it all started from there, I guess, questioning a lot of things. And then years later getting introduced to the psychedelics and that, like, wow, going another level up there. And when I did it, it was all consuming, 100%. So when I wasn't doing it, I'm like, so what is life then? There must be more to life then. Who am I now? Who am I going to become now?
Yeah.
Like, I realized that I'm not that guy anymore. So slowly you kind of redefine yourself, I suppose, and that's an ongoing process. I think they asked me once time on London Real, what's your ego? Oh, your ego is your like self-portrait that you're showing to yourself and you're showing to the world. This is me. This is who I think I am. Right. You know, I'm a male. I'm white. I'm a bodybuilder. I'm this. I'm that. I'm there. That's not who you are. That's just a story that you may be telling at this point. In 10 years' time or 20 years' time, you might be telling a different story, man. I mean, you know, life is flexible. And it's full of amazing things and opportunities. Why just restrict yourself to doing only one thing? Which is what I did for a long time. But I don't need to do that now. It's not going to serve me or anyone else.
After my near-death experience and being revived, they said, we discovered why you're in a coma, you had an embolism, and they said, well, you got a tumor in your heart, we need to cut it out, and all this shit. And my phone turned on by itself, and I got a series of messages through the phone that can only be explained through like divine intervention. Yeah. I used to think that, you know, that universal intelligence wouldn't use technology but it can use whatever the hell it wants at any time. Yeah. You know, so it is everything. It is everything. And it's light. Light can penetrate anything it wants to. So after that realization, I became much more aware of death and how generous death is in giving you a chance to live life to the fullest. And
did you have anything while you were in a coma? Did you have anything like, you know, people have these near-death experiences and they go to the light and they have revelations and they see things?
No, it was lights out. I couldn't breathe. They intubated me, so they shoved the tube down my throat while I couldn't breathe. So it's like drowning, but you're not anywhere near water. Yeah. And 5 days went by. It was lights out, and then I saw myself above myself. And Dorian, I woke up on my birthday. It was a very cool thing to be reborn and look at myself. And I remember there were 3 people in the room, and when I woke up, I extubated myself like violently. It was 3 a.m. and I was like, I want to live, you know? Yeah. And I remember I asked a nurse, like, I remember seeing myself above myself, and was this person in the room? And that person, they're like, yeah. You really saw. You were disembodied consciousness that could see. Yeah. Maybe I was so close to my body.
Halfway out, man.
Yeah, halfway out. That's right. So, you know, this whole utilization of near death, people don't have to wait until you actually are confronted with actual death. You can choose to push yourself to a limit every day and let something die, like your belief that you can't do something, or whatever it is that's holding you back. Like, don't wait for an accident or an injury or near death to make you transform yourself into this living being that we're born to be. So,
well, great you had that opportunity, right?
Yes.
Fucking wake up call.
No doubt.
I read this thing one time from critical care. It's a critical care doctor or nurse. I mean, the people are dying, right? So they did like a kind of survey, I guess. Asked them, you know, you're moving on now. I mean, what's your regrets? What do you wish? And like, not a single fucking person said, I wish I worked harder. Wow. And know?
Yeah.
Not a single person.
Right.
They were like, I wish I spent more time doing things I love doing. I wish I spent more time with people that I love. And, you know, I like to be around. And these were the things that people were saying. They weren't saying, I wish I had more money, or I wish I worked harder, or I wish I built a bigger fucking empire. None of that.
Don't want to be the richest guy in the graveyard, do you?
No.
Yeah. And near death is something that, like, ayahuasca gives you the opportunity. It's safe, like Targa will give you a safe environment to experience what you perceive as a near-death experience. So you can
Pretty close, I guess.
You can get all the goods away from dying, in a sense, but no physical pain of death.
You still come back.
Yeah. It's like a second chance, or a third, or fourth, or fifth.
I literally did feel like I was really dying last time.
That's heavy, man.
Yeah, really. I was on the floor, and there's this little girl that was like a facilitator there. She looked like a little angel because she had a white dress on.
Yeah.
And she came out to help me because I went out. I actually was having a hard time, and one of them must have come over and said, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not fucking okay, man. I need to get outside, but I can't move. I need you to help me." So that was, "I need you to help me," was like the first thing. And then she came out, she was looking after me, and we're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm fucking burning up. I feel like I'm fucking dying here. I can't move. I need water." And she's like, "Yeah, but you're not really supposed to drink water during the ceremonies." I said, "Yeah, I know. I just wanted to tip it on my fucking head. I'm burning." And she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna come back." And then I was like, "No, don't go, don't go. I don't want you to go. I need you to be here with me." She's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna be 2 minutes and I'll come back." But I actually said that to her, like a little girl, like, "Don't fucking leave me. I need you right now."
Yeah.
So that was humbling. You know, to put away that ego that I can always fucking handle everything, I can do it myself.
There's all kind of power out there. That little girl was powerful at that moment.
Exactly. So yeah, it was. Every time you learn something different, and that was a big one for me last time. So I'm a bit nervous about this next one. See how we're gonna go, man.
It'll be nothing but joy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I asked the question, which normally I leave it a bit open. When I go up and take the drink, I'm normally like, "Listen, mother, you're so much wiser than me, yeah? Why should I tell you what I need from this experience? You probably know better than me. Whatever I need to know at this point, whatever benefits me the most at this point, that's what I want to know." But actually, the time when I had the real heavy experience, I went up and I asked a question, and then it was like, "All right, you know, you want the answer? First of all, we're going to fuck you up because you're hiding a lot of stuff with your physicality, you know. And we need to like get to that kid when you were a kid and you were young and your father died, and let's go back to that vulnerable little boy, because that kid is still there, but you've put him up in all this fucking armor and this power and the strength and this lion character and you know the gym and the muscles and all this stuff. So good, served you well, but let's take it away for a minute. Now how do you feel? You can't fucking move, right? So that had to happen to me. That's what I saw. To take away all the physicality, for me to see some things and realise some things.
Blind spots.
Yeah.
We definitely paint that narrative in our life to support our comfort. You know, and most times to grow. So we can navigate through what's familiar. You know? But it's those unfamiliar moments, man. They just like when we jumped in that water. This was unfamiliar territory. I mean, the night before we saw the Northern Lights.
How long did you stay in?
We were there for a week.
Yeah?
We just rent a camper. The best way to do it, Dorian, is just to rent a camper. You and your wife just rent a camper.
You rent one when you're there?
Yeah, just rent a camper.
Just sleep in a camper?
Yeah, it has a heater and everything. It has burners. You can cook your food.
Wow.
We got one for $1,200 to seat
From where?
6 people.
From the airport?
Yeah, there's a place called Geyser RV rental. It was like a diesel Isuzu 6. It wasn't off road. You don't really need that. But good on gas. It was cheap. It was $1,200 for a week.
Yeah.
And you save on everything because you don't eat out much. You go to get your groceries. You can cook right there. It's rustic. You wake up, and our mission was to capture as much of the beauty when no one was awake, when no one was there.
You go to Reykjavik?
Yeah, you fly into Reykjavik, you get your camper, and there's one road that goes around the entire place. We went to.
Easy, not going to get lost then.
No, just remember one, the ring road.
Yeah.
It's the ring road. We went to the volcanic vents where the sulfur's pouring out. There's baths everywhere, volcanic baths everywhere. The first night we went, first night we went, it was just all mud. We put our mud all over ourselves, like you do with the clay. Dude, we went to this place called Fock, which is a brand new lagoon on a lake. It's a hot springs that's all done like a military compound. It's all automated. You go in, you pay your thing, you go. It's amazing. No one's there. It's like you jump into this freshwater lake. It's like 40 degrees, and then you jump into the thing. It's 120.
Wow.
And it's all mineral and sulfur. You smell it. Your skin feels great. You feel revived. That whole place is amazing. From glaciers to black beaches to the highest amazing green.
You see some giant motherfuckers there because they got some crazy genetics.
Oh, they got some big boys out there. Yeah.
They're like 3 of the world's strongest men come from this place. I don't know how many people live there. A couple 100,000.
Viking.
Well, the Vikings went there, but then I guess it was so harsh there that only the really strong kids survived. So it was like almost like a genetic selection.
Yeah. There's nothing there. As soon as 80% of the population lives in Reykjavik, the rest of the country, nothing.
Just volcanoes and
just Asian tourists.
Japanese with cameras.
They come out of the bus and they stream out and everything. They collect all the data. But it's definitely a trip that we were in shock. I mean, we got off the plane and landed in Madrid and drove there on a Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, there's hundreds of thousands of people in the city, and we're just walking around. We're microdosing. We microdosed all week in Iceland. All we had was ourselves to talk to.
And microdosing what, mushrooms?
Yeah.
Like powder?
Yeah.
How much do you weigh it, or how do you figure that?
0.25 per pill. We'll usually get less than a gram if we want to get a little, if we're out there moving around, you don't feel so tripped out. But if you're in a city, you want low, too much stimulus. But we were, I think, about a gram yesterday, walking the streets with the art and the entertainers, like the crazy, flamenco stuff and shit. Like, wow, like the shit bellows out of their emotions. You're like, what is that?
Flamenco's great, man.
Intense shit. I'm like, man, that's lifetimes of storytelling.
Yeah, that's generations.
Emotions. It's just like hundreds of years just delivered to you right here in the street.
I went to Granada and a couple of times been to the flamenco place there.
Yeah.
A real proper fucking, gypsies. They have to be a certain blood or whatever to be. And I was blown away by how much emotions, like the story they were telling. I was getting the story. I couldn't understand the words or nothing, but I was getting the flow of the story.
Yeah. It's incredible advanced ability to transmute energy through that. Like,
all the stamping.
Yeah,
it's great.
And their faces.
And
their whole, look at that face, you're like, man, that's a deep story, man. Well, you got to run, brother. I know you got to run.
Yeah, I got to do some stuff.
And I don't want to take up too much of your time. We really
Thanks for this, man.
Yeah.
How long are you in town for?
We'll be here. We don't know if we're going to head towards Gibraltar and check that out because he leaves tomorrow, but we're going to stay till the 7th.
Yeah.
So we'll be up and down the coast.
Okay. You should check out Ronda.
Ronda.
It's about 45 minutes away.
Okay.
It's got these spectacular gorges there and stuff. It's like people from all around the world go there.
Okay.
It's only, you won't believe it, man.
Nice.
Mountains and the gorges and
it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. There's a nice drive as well up the mountains, around through the mountains. Ronda's good, and there's a lot of stuff to see here. You don't need to go far.
Yeah, we were going to train actually, get a workout, and we have a couple companies, so we're doing content production for them, and we sell them videos that we produce for them at different locations. So we'll just do a workout, we'll show the product,
Nice.
And then the smaller budget companies, they still have money to pay, but they just want like good content. So we wrapped up all that content in Iceland, giving these people that ridiculous shit. We're like, wow, you're doing a workout on a glacier. Some good shit.
Cool, man. I got to check that place out. It's on my list.
You will. You'll love it. You will really love it. Let me imagine.
A week there's enough there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Northern Lights all the time, or a certain time of year?
Certain time. We were lucky.
We lucked out.
In August, he had a guy that texted him and said, look, tonight, a 6 out of 10 as far as probability and strength of the lights. So that night we saw them. 5 hours later, we're in this glacier. Then we saw this crazy double rainbow. I'll show it to you. Within an hour of getting out of the glacier, we woke up at 5 o'clock to go swim in this glacier, man. We did not want to do this.
Yeah.
But I was on a mission. I was like,
the ice?
Yeah.
Shit. How long are you staying there for?
What, probably 40 seconds at the most.
Not long.
Yeah.
You have to get out, right?
Hypothermia is no joke.
Yeah.
And we were nowhere near any. That was the double rainbow we saw.
Wow.
It was the craziest shit ever.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it was just incredible.
Yeah.
This is an hour after we got out of the glacier. It was like magical fucking world.
Yeah.
You're like,
You've been there on a little microdose.
yeah,
Perfect.
it was the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll leave you some money for the lunch.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
We got it. Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Good time.
You going to the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might pop in for 10 minutes. I think Gal's in there.
Okay.
We can get it changed and grab a
Have a workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might do a little half an hour. I don't really like eating right after. Train right after I've eaten.
Why is that?
I don't like to train with my stomach full. You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel good.
It helps me. I usually fast after I train, and I usually eat before I train.
I've been doing a bit of intermittent fasting, just like missing breakfast and coming in training my clients.
Yeah.
So I don't eat till about 3.
Yeah.
That's been fine, man. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Like, body's totally out of that. Like for the first few years, if I didn't eat every 3 hours, I started fucking
Angry,
freaking
right.
and shaking and getting angry.
Yeah.
Now I could go like all day without eating. Doesn't
it's
doesn't
just a
bother me.
mental thing. Isn't
Yeah. Yeah, and so many years your body gets used to that constant input of food, right?
it? Yeah. You're gonna atrophy, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how do you develop the
your
hard
blood
version?
sugar gets used, you know?
Yeah.
Blood
it's
sugar
true.
gets used to being constantly topped up with food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually twice a day I eat now.
Yeah.
This is my first meal today.
Yep. That's
And I eat later on, that's it. Take it easy on the body, man.
Yeah, so autophagy, that's a big thing now, where your body eats itself, like the damaged cells, your
Cleans
body.
out the old cells.
Yeah.
That's the idea behind the Wim Hof breathing as well,
Exactly.
I think, right? To clean out the old cells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do some housekeeping.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Get the old cells out.
That's it.
Yeah, I like listening to him. I got a few with Wim Hof in the background.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Now you're cleaning out the heart cells, the cancer cells, anything that you don't need. You're cleaning it out, man.
Yeah.
Because your body needs to be functional.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, if you take your car and it gets water in the intake,
Yeah.
it's going to shut off.
Yeah.
If you get too much contaminants in the oil, it's going to shut off.
Yeah.
So breathing is the essential thing for the car.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be for us?
Yeah.
The exhaust has to get the toxins.
And even learning to breathe properly, like, from here,
Yes.
I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that I wasn't doing that properly. Just breathing up here all the time, like
Yeah.
you do.
Yep.
So now I'm very conscious breathing here, especially if I'm
base
doing
chakra.
yoga and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll take a look at the gym then.
Yeah, let's do it.